big event that happened today is the Xbox / Bethesda showcase, which is basically like, because there's no E3 this year, Xbox and Microsoft just decided to do their own little digital event like a Nintendo Direct. Same thing, E3 season, right? And during it, they announced 50 games, and the majority of them are coming to Game Pass. I mean, we can count them: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38. 38 of the 50 games will be available on Game Pass. Give it up for me for knowing how to count, guys. Give it up for me, man, proving that I'm really out here just doing my thing. So they announced 50 games that are coming to Xbox / PC over the next 12 months, and 38 of them will be available on Game Pass day one. And this sent the internet ablaze. I seen a lot of people say that this showcase was cool. I seen several people say it was great. It's all over the place. And then I seen a lot of people say that it was just flat out trash. I disagree with that. I don't know how you could call this flat out trash when they announced 50 games with 38 of them coming to Game Pass. So just for consistency purposes, we did an actual watch along, like a reaction at the G4 X Play channel. We did a live stream of it, and we used the 5 system that we use on X Play. So I rated it a 3 out of 5, and I'm just saying that for consistency purposes. I gave this a 3 out of 5, and what is that? That equals, let's see, let me get my calculator. That's like a 60 something, right? Let's see, 3 divided by 5. Yeah, points. It's like a 60 something. I don't know, right? But yeah, I think it's like a 65 or some shit like that, 67. I rated the Xbox showcase a 3 out of 5. And I actually wrote down some talking points. I'm not gonna just sit on Twitter and run my mouth and spew shit. Cause like the console, the older you get, the stupider shit gets. And don't get me wrong, the stupider this console war shit gets to me, bro. Don't get me wrong, like I'm all for the jokes, but like when I crack jokes about companies, it's coming from a place of love. I want more good games. So like I always try to back it up with like facts and stuff like that. And also I keep the jokes lighthearted. Something like you remember I used to say during the Xbox One era, Xbox ain't got no games because they didn't fucking have no fucking games. So I'm gonna keep saying it until we speak some games into existence. They're announcing games and people are still complaining. When the Wii U was a thing, we used to do the sad music because the Wii U didn't have no fucking games. We bullied them, and then we got the Switch. We started getting fucking games. But yeah, I seen like the wildest tweet I seen is somebody was like, yo, the Xbox showcase was fucking trash. Tonight, we smoking on that Xbox pack. We smoking on that Bethesda pack. I'm like, bro, is your allegiance to PlayStation that fucking deep? I was like, that's just like, yo, I what? Why do you want to see like these? When you say you're smoking on the Bethesda and the Xbox pack, you identify as a PlayStation shooter. Like, son, I don't know, because most of you little internet weirdo niggas, maybe you don't know what you're saying because you never been outside. You just listen to fucking Lil Durk and all these rappers. But like when you say that you're saying you're catching a body. Like you're saying you're a PlayStation shooter. That shit is weird. That shit is fucking weird. But let me tell you why I gave it a. I didn't think it was that great. I didn't think it was bad either. It was all right. It was all right to me. It was a 3 out of 5. Okay. And here's why. I have actual talking points instead of saying we smoking on that Bethesda pack. So first things first, they showcased 50 games and it was pretty much all gameplay. There were only like a couple trailers where like it was mainly CG, but it was pretty much all gameplay. You get kudos for that because that's always one of my main complaints. I hate when you show a bunch of trailers at these E3 events and it's nothing but trailers. So I have to give them kudos for showing mostly gameplay. Talking point number 2, 50 games, minimal talking. If you haven't watched the presentation, it's mainly just like 2 hours of, and then this game, and then this game, world premiere, and then this game. There was a couple times where they had developers come out and talk, but it was very brief. It was 1 to 2 minutes, just a little bit of talking, feeding some details, and then here's some more gameplay, and here's some more game. So I like that it was minimal talking. They stuck to letting the content speak for itself. The next positive, some people didn't like this, but I didn't mind it. They said that these games are all games coming out over the next 12 months. So basically during the last half of this year, the last 6 months, and then the first half of 2023. So the next 12 months, these are the 50 games you're going to see from the Xbox. They didn't really show anything that's coming 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They showcase games that are going to be touchable in the near future. I like that. I like when you announce games and it's like, oh, by the way, you can play it in 4 months. We love that shit. So they showed a bunch of games that you're going to be able to play soon. And then the next thing is the Game Pass, my talking point. 50 games they showcased. 38 will be playable on Game Pass day one. Mind you, Game Pass is $10 a month. I'm not gonna lie, this wasn't a great showcase for like huge AAA titles, but it was a great showcase for the Game Pass and how committed Xbox is to it, right? And that's why I kind of gave it the score. But like the fact that so many of these games are coming to Game Pass, because a lot of these games look good. They look like B tier games that like I wouldn't want to pay $60 for, but I would try them if they're on Game Pass. Like they could. And here's the thing. This is how I perceive them. I'm perceiving them as like B tier games. Some of these games might be AAA games, but I just don't want to pay for them because I don't know a lot about them. But they're going to be on Game Pass, and I think that's why this presentation is a lowercase w to me, because it shows how committed Microsoft is to the Game Pass. I was worried when they first announced this Game Pass stuff that like it was going to become like the Google Stadia or you guys remember OnLive or Amazon Luna, just another service where they was going to put it out and then kind of abandon it last minute, or not last minute, but just kind of abandon it. I feel like that's what PlayStation, that wasn't that great, but they're trying to get better with it now. So a lot of games on Game Pass. And then my last talking point is we saw a lot of variety. Now, this is an important talking point for me. And the reason being is that one of the things that I've learned as I've gotten older in life, and this has nothing to do with video games, this is about life in general, is most people are not capable of viewing the world outside of their lens. And because of that, they tend to view a lot of things more negatively than they need to, right? Instead of saying something, there's a difference between something being objectively bad and subjectively bad, right? Like objectively bad is like the frame rate's dropping, the story's horrible, the gameplay is clunky. Those things that are objectively bad. What's subjectively bad is whether if it's a polished game that reaches the threshold, then it comes down to whether or not it's for you, right? So like I feel like a lot of people they can't hop out of their lens and say, okay, maybe this is not for me, but this is still good for the industry. That's what I'm trying to get at. They showed a lot of variety, and if you're like a hardcore gamer that likes to play a lot of different things, then I thought this was a good showcase for you. If you're somebody who only plays first-person shooters, or you're somebody who only plays RPGs, or you're somebody who only plays Madden, or you only play, I don't know, Valorant, you play only very specific types of games, then yeah, this shit is going to come across as trash for you. But if you remove yourself out of that biased lens and look at it, they showed a lot of really decent games that add a lot of variety to your catalog. And keep in mind, if you have the Game Pass, you just download it. You can take it off your hard drive. So some highlights for me that are coming to Game Pass day one that we didn't know about. Those would be the first one, and this is one that I feel like is really underrated, is League of Legends. This is exclusive to the PC Game Pass. So League of Legends, if you missed it, basically all the skins in League of Legends Wild Rift, and then something else, all the skins and not the skins, all the characters, you get them inside of the Game Pass. There's 130 champions in League of Legends, bro. Do you know how much fucking money that costs? Plus, I think you get like some skins. And then also because they have this deal with Riot, I'm really curious to see what they do in the future. Because when that fighting game comes out, if it's a free-to-play game where you have to buy individual characters like skins or whatever, I'm pretty sure they're gonna add some value there. Like you get all the characters or something like that if you have like Game Pass or whatever. So like whether you care about League of Legends or not doesn't matter. This is important to a lot of people. 130 champions you will get for free in League of Legends if you have the Game Pass. That is a big deal. We didn't know about that beforehand. But what was I about to say? Redfall looked interesting. It looked like a vampire version of Left 4 Dead with a little bit of like stealth and stuff like that. Definitely looks like it's gonna be fun time with friends. We got a look at Flintlock. They announced this game. We didn't know what it was. They announced it a few months ago. We didn't know what it was. It's looking like a, what's the word I'm looking for? steampunk kind of Soulsborne type of game. It looks pretty good. I'm interested in it. That looks like it could be a AAA level type of game. But let's see what else we got here on this freaking list. This is all over the place. We saw more Overwatch 2 gameplay. It looks better than what they showed before. Oh, A Plague's Tale Requiem. I'm playing the first Plague's Tale. It's underrated, and this new sequel is even bigger. It's looking like it's gonna be good. We saw Diablo 4. Oh yeah, a new game from what's that shit called? From Ninja Team, or is it Ninja Theory? One of them damn ninja teams, called Wulong Fallen Dynasty. I was getting kind of Ninja Gaiden vibes from that, and Lu Bu pulled up, so that shit looked kind of lit. That shit looked kind of lit. Oh yeah, you get the Valorant skins and that shit. So yeah, you get the I keep saying skins, characters. You get the League of Legends characters, Wild Rift characters, and Valorant characters all for free. Oh, and Legends of Rune. Oh, Persona. They you get all the damn Persona games on Xbox if you have Game Pass. If that's a lot of content, bruh. Persona, playing all the Personas alone is the $120 that you pay or whatever it costs a year for the Game Pass. That is a lot of content, bruh, if you haven't played those games already. So I think there's content here and they're adding more. I think it's dope. Atomic Heart looks dope, by the way. But the big one that everybody was talking about during this, let me take a swig of this water real quick. The main game that everybody was talking about was Starfield. So Starfield finally got revealed by Bethesda. Let me see if I can pull up the gameplay. Starfield gameplay. Have it running in the background. GameStop trailers. There we go. We got the gameplay. So they finally showed the game. This is the first new IP from Bethesda in like 20 years, I believe. They built it from like the ground up with like a new engine, space RPG. From my understanding, this is about the early days of space exploration and just trying to survive. And there's some good and some bad from this. So I was starting to get a little frustrated with this game because like they kept talking about it, but they would never show it. And now that I've physically seen it, I'm like, okay, I see where they're going with this. I'm excited because they said they had like 1,000 like procedurally generated planets that you can explore. You have customizable ships. The gameplay, not the gameplay, but the gunplay, it looked average. I feel like they could work on the sound design and the bullet impact could be a little bit better. It didn't really feel like the guns had as much impact and oomph as they could. And maybe that has something to do with space and like zero gravity. I don't know. But I feel like they can clean up the gunplay. And then the story is the main thing that's kind of interesting me, because like the thing about like that's great about space games and what I love about Mass Effect is like you're only limited by your imagination. You can tell any story you want. You can introduce any kind of alien race that you want. So I think there's a lot to work with here. The main thing that a lot of people were complaining about was the frame rate. And I agree. There was two red flags that I noticed mainly. Was the frame rate was shaky, and there's been rumors going around that it got delayed because they needed more time to actually polish the game. And the frame rate was definitely stuttering a little bit. And this is a Bethesda game. But the good news is it's on Game Pass, so I don't gotta pay for this shit. So I think they're gonna need some time to optimize that. But the core of what's here is definitely interesting, specifically the story. It seems like there's some type of ancient relic that you're looking for that's gonna help you maintain civilization or some shit like that. That's really interesting to me. Let me fast forward to like some of the gameplay. The lighting in this gen is really, really good. And then the other red flag that I seen about Starfield was that I think the character animations when they're talking, I like that they're going back to that old school Fallout look where like and Obsidian did it with the Outer Lands. Was it the Outer Worlds? I think it was the Outer Worlds. Where the character's like standing in the middle of the frame and you're talking to them and you get to choose your own kind of dialogue. They're going back to that old type of Fallout Bethesda style of telling the story. The only red flag there is like the animations on the faces. A lot of the characters were cross-eyed, so they definitely need to clean that up. And if they don't, I'm just putting this out there as someone who has been ready to die on the Mass Effect Andromeda hill. I always say Mass Effect Andromeda was not a bad game. It just wasn't a good Mass Effect game. Once you got past the fucking kooky eyes and the facial expressions, the gameplay was the best in the Mass Effect series. It's just the story wasn't particularly interesting, and Mass Effect is known for the story and the faces and shit like that. And then the open world aspect, it was kind of too. But yeah, the character faces in this game are like kooky eyed, like Mass Effect Andromeda, and they better clean that up. And if they don't, the internet better roast this game the same way y'all roasted Mass Effect Andromeda. But I like that. I like that right there, that you can switch between first and third person how you want to play that. You can do it as well as it when you're in the ship or when you're on foot or whatever. A concern for me though is the fact that they have all these different planets. What are they going to fill them with? I don't want another No Man's Sky where you're just walking around and there's nothing to do. I really hope that what made Mass Effect great, in my opinion, was the main story was great, but so were the side stories. There were so many side stories when you would travel. Some of my favorite moments were just traveling to some random planet in the Milky Way or any of the other solar systems and landing on the planet and finding a random base, and they're doing experiments, and there's this whole storyline where you got to help people and shit. Just those random side stories that makes it feel like the galaxy's alive and there's things going on outside of your main mission. So like, I think that's going to be very important on how they fill out. You see how the characters look kind of kooky eyed? It's going to be very important to see how they fill out this world. I feel like if they don't do that, we're going to have to knock some points off there. But I think the overall aesthetic of the game, the vibe, the whole mystery of how to save like humanity and stuff, it's good here. I like the way they're telling the story. The gun combat could be a little bit better, but we like the ship customization. I do feel like people went a little bit too hard on this. It looks all right. It looks all right. They need to clean it up, but it looks all right. I see what they're working with, and I think this game has potential. Like look, I love that, like how they blurred the background and have the characters. Hey, there's a space settlement that needs your help. Is this the greatest thing I've ever seen? No. But I'm leaning more towards I'm looking forward to Starfield now. I'm looking forward to Starfield. Look at all this. This is one of those games that when you work in games media, that like I'm gonna love and hate. And what I mean is, this game looks like it's gonna be a gazillion hours. So when they first showed the demo, they showed like one planet and then they zoomed out and showed all the different planets and stuff. I'm like, oh my fucking god, bro, it's gonna be hard to review this game. And I said it on XPlay, and I'm gonna say it here on the podcast. Anybody who drops a day one review on this game, you probably shouldn't trust them. And the only way you should trust them is if we get this. And I'm gonna tell y'all too when the review copies start going out, because I know, like Horizon Forbidden West, I got that game like a month early. I was playing that. It was one of the reasons I disappeared like in February. I wasn't really streaming as much. I got that game a month early, so I had plenty of time to actually play it and really form an opinion. But that's very rare. Most of the time you get game codes like the week before. There's been plenty of times where they'll give it to us the weekend of. You have like 2 days to try to piece some shit together. That's why a lot of those Elden Ring reviews were rushed, because them codes were passed out last minute. This is one of those games that's so big, like I'm not gonna trust a lot of day one reviews on this shit, because I feel like you're gonna need some time to really get this game, dive deep into it and see what it has to offer. But that being said, it's all right. I think the Xbox Bethesda showcase was a 3 out of 5 to me. It didn't blow me away. Cool character customization. I like that you're going to be able to customize your character. They just got to clean up that frame rate and clean up these kooky ass faces and these cockeyed characters and shit like that. But I think the story's interesting. The world's interesting. They have something here to work with. I'm not going to totally dismiss it like some other people I see on the internet talking about we smoking on the Xbox pack. You motherfuckers is weird. You are dead ass weird. The game looks hype to me. But we gonna see. We gonna see. So those are my thoughts on the Xbox showcase.